limit or completely eliminate gassy carbohydrates from your foods as much as possible, and this includes traveling. So just as a recap, gassy carbohydrates are an acronym that I use to describe the 4 big food groups that cause insulin response to be high. And remember, insulin response drives fat accumulation. So the acronym is GAS. It stands for grain, alcohol, sugar, and starch. The more of these types of foods that are in your diet, the sooner you're hungry, the more hunger pangs you have, the less full you feel, the more fat you accumulate, the more cravings you have, and the sicker you become, because excessive amounts of insulin from the foods that we're eating drive metabolic syndrome, which is a cluster of risk factors that put us at a predisposition for heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Now, a nice side benefit to keeping those categories of foods low or out of your diet as much as possible is this. This is Paris croissant, and at Paris croissant you can get all of the yummy things that you would find in a traditional French bakery, or you can go the smart route and do what I did. So what I got here, this is a mushroom omelet with a crisp green salad and some bacon on toast. I won't eat the toast, right? And this is just like a mild red tomato sauce. This here is an Americano with a little bit of heavy cream, and this is a sparkling water with a taste that is really popular in Asia, which is called elderflower. The water is very similar to what we find in the States, like LaCroix, where it's a flavored sparkling water. It just has a little bit of a floral taste, which I tend to like. All of this pretty much is retrain friendly, or low carb friendly, or ketogenic friendly, or whatever you want to say. Because it keeps insulin low, my body is better able to tell when I don't need any more food. I don't think that I ate a huge amount of this. I ate maybe 3/4 of the omelet, and it was a good omelet, right? It has spinach and mushroom, it has a little bit of cheese in it. It's really good. You can see that I did scrape off the tomato sauce because the tomato sauce tasted sweet, and it's common because tomatoes are an acidic food that commercial kitchens will put in sugar, a lot of sugar, to bring that acidity down and make it be more palatable. So I just scraped that off. I've literally only had 1 slice of the bacon that's sitting on there, and it's really good bacon, and I've had about half of the salad, and I'm full. My body has signaled to me that I'm not hungry anymore, I don't want to eat anymore. Back in the day, I would feel bad about leaving this much food behind, but because there probably is some sugar in this food, since I'm getting it from a restaurant, I don't feel bad letting that food go. Again, keeping the gassy carbohydrates out of your diet will let your body adequately signal to you when you're finished eating, and you'll be surprised as you keep doing this that it happens fairly quickly. Your body really is good at telling you when it's done, and a lot of times the amount of food that you eat is quite small compared to what you did before you started fixing the problem. Tip number 2 is to use food globalization in your favor. Simply put, food globalization means that if you want to try the food of a particular country or a particular culture, you don't have to go to that country anymore exclusively to get the food. If I want to have Korean food that's authentic, I don't have to come here to South Korea to have it. I can have it in the United States. I can have it pretty much in any town, even small towns. And the same is true for Eastern countries. So there's a lot of westernization of food here in South Korea. The same is true for Japan, and the same is true for China. Most of the time, this is actually working against the races and the cultures that are not westernized. For example, traditional Korean culture, there's no dessert in their food. Their food is mainly meat, sauces, soups, stews, vegetables, and for sweet, they used to just have fruit, and that was it. And that's because on the Korean peninsula, they couldn't grow sugar. They weren't exposed to sugar. But with globalization, South Koreans are now exposed to many westernized foods, desserts, fast foods, carbohydrates, excessive grains besides white rice, which was in their traditional culture. And as a result, what we're seeing here in South Korea is an increased rate of obesity. So how can you use this globalization in your favor? If you find a Western restaurant, or if you find a Western fast food restaurant, which are pretty much everywhere in pretty much all countries, you can order things that are based in protein, fat, and vegetables. Now, in this clip, I walked all the way over to a Burger King because I was going to demonstrate that. Normally, I would say you would never go to a place that's fast food like Burger King, but if you're in a country where it's difficult to order specifically, whether there's a language barrier or they just don't have your style of food, then a fast food option can work. What I was going to do, since it's early morning here, was I was going to have a breakfast sandwich. I was going to order like an egg, bacon, cheese, sausage based sandwich, and then just remove the bread and eat the middle part. So that's an example of something you can do while you're traveling to help keep the content and the classification of your calories under control. All right, my lovely butterflies, thank you for getting this far in the video, but before I go, I want to give a special Kaleidoscope call out to Miss Anna Herskowitz. Anna was a diabetic for 8 years before she came to my program, and within 2 weeks, her blood sugar numbers are down into almost the normal range. She's also wearing clothes that she hasn't been able to get into for 4 years. Remember, if you want a Kaleidoscope call out, all you've got to do is send me your transformation. You can send it to me through email, you can reach me on Facebook, or you can send me a video. But I'd love to hear how your total transformation is going, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.